Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Friday's market wrap up. And wow, what an incredible week it was in the markets today. If you didn't understand what the term Bizarro market means, you're going to see what it means in a couple minutes here. Real quick, sorry, the Friday market wrap up is a little late. Got to attend a very special event this morning with my son. We went to the BB&T Center where the Florida Panthers play, and we got to meet actual real heroes. I mean, the combat sorties I flew over Iraq seemed like a complete joke compared to these guys. This guy, 18-year-old kid from South Philadelphia, jumped with the 101st into Normandy on D-Day. He also was at the Battle of the Bulge at Bastogne and also jumped into Holland to seize the bridge at Nijmegen. Just absolutely incredible. American around his neck is the Legion of Honor, France's highest award. Met this guy, a 19-year-old kid, B-17 waist gunner, who, while on a bombing run against some German submarine pen, saw a Focke-Wulf 190 streaking up towards him, machine guns blasting. As he took cover behind some armor plating, he pulled lead on the German, squeezed his trigger, and the German aircraft flew right through his fire, and he shot him down. This gentleman was one of the first Green Berets in the United States Army. He was in the first class after John F. Kennedy ordered the standing up of special forces. This man landed in the Bay of Pigs, which we're not supposed to know about, he said, him and 4 other Green Berets. And he also did 3 tours in Vietnam. And the COO of the Panthers, don't hold this against him, Army guy, West Point dude, did a lot of combat in northern Iraq, belly to belly, and just it was epic. It was I've never seen anything like this in my life. Just meeting one of these individuals would have been an honor. Getting to meet all of them this morning with my son. Those are the real American heroes, folks. And it seems just incredible. Really last of the greatest generation. That guy is 94, and this guy is 96. And his handshake was one of the firmest I've ever felt in my life. This guy, I mean, looks like he could do 100 push-ups. So my apologies for being a little late with this. U.S. and Russia and warships almost collide. It's getting a lot more serious, folks. President Xi and Putin met this week, and what did Xi say? Hey, Putin's my best friend. The relationship between Russia and China hasn't been stronger. We're best friends. That's just super. So we got Russia on the right, we got China on the left, and we're right in the middle here, getting squeezed. So let's get into trade. Trump says there's a good chance that Mexico will avert tariffs with a deal that includes purchase of U.S. farm goods. Turns out the Mexico deployed their National Guard, their army. They're throwing everything at the kitchen sink at their southern border to, shocker, stop immigration. Try and if you as an American went illegal into Mexico, I think it's like a mandatory 10-year prison sentence. But at their southern border, no, man, just everybody come on through, keep going right up to the United States. The president has got to, he gets a ton of credit from me for threatening to hit these guys with tariffs. You know what they export from Mexico, folks? People. We spend $132 billion a year on illegal immigrants that come through Mexico. Damn right it was right to smack these guys with a potential tariff. Now they're awake. What did Obama, Clinton, the Bush, what did anybody else do before us about illegal immigrants? Nothing. This president is acting. This week, the president said tariffs on China could be raised by another $300 billion if necessary. Oh boy! So the rhetoric got more heated, even though the president was overseas yesterday, obviously doing the 75th anniversary of the D-Day invasion. But look at the Xi last night. Xi Jinping calls Trump a friend. Says the U.S. isn't interested in rupturing ties with China. He's a friend. It's hard to imagine a complete breakdown of the United States from China or China from the United States. We are not interested in this, and our American partners are not interested in this. Trump is my friend, and I am convinced he is also not interested in this. Very, very interesting that Xi's starting to play nice here. All right, now we have to talk about what's going on, folks. Markets don't do this. Well, Wizard did it. Exactly. The fact that it did it should tell you something, folks. A rip-your-face-off rally this week on Monday with news that the FTC, DOJ are going after tech companies. And then Monday, St. Louis Fed Chief Bullard, I think we need to cut interest rates. Tuesday, Jerome Powell, we're going to act as appropriate in this trade war in uncertain times to keep the market rally alive. And then, folks, these 3 days were short squeezes. And then what happened today? So 3-day short squeeze. And then what happened? Hiring, the jobs report was one of the, I think, the worst since October of 2018. 175. My God, look at this. There's, again, like I did with the ADP report on Wednesday. I'm like, is there a 1 missing in front of it? Come on. We were forecasting 177. That's got to be 175. Nope, that's 75. Average hourly earnings have slowed. These are not good metrics. How does the market react? With a 300-point rally in the Dow. This, ladies and gentlemen, is Bizarro market. Good news is good news. Bad news is good news. And awful news, 75,000 jobs, is great news. Why? Because now the Fed has to cut interest rates. Now we are in an incredibly dangerous spot that the Fed is painted into a corner. Based on this data today, everybody's thinking that the Fed's going to cut in June. Before this awful jobs report, what did we expect? Probably maybe July. Now it's not maybe July. It's like, oh, they better do it in June. That's what's very dangerous about this, folks, is that we're banking on the Fed to do what the market wants, not what the Fed thinks is right. You know how I know this was a massive short squeeze? And this is what I call a hold your nose rally, folks. What did the VIX do today? The VIX at one time today, folks, was up to 1650. The market was up. The VIX was up. Something is up. Let me say that again. Market up, VIX up, something's up. You know what the something is? Nobody believes this. Markets don't rip like this. This is what markets do. They tend to go through moving average, back up to it a little bit, and rip down here. But this was even not necessarily a rip. Look at this. This is a square root. You ready? Over, down, and then up. How many of you, I just got off the call a little while ago, driving back in the car, how many of you are willing to step in here and buy? With a rip your face off, we're going after tech, we're going to cut interest rates, and a horrible jobs report. Folks, this market, everybody I talk to, institutional, hedge fund manager, and private office, it's hope. This market is going up on hopium. And when hope don't come through all the time, that's when bigger things happen. So very, very interesting. I had a couple good coaching calls as well. Market up, VIX up, something's up. The something that is up is the people said, you know what, this is a hold your nose rally. It might be going up, but I am getting long volatility. We've nailed volatility, folks, for the past month. I said not only is volatility going to spike, it's going to do what? Stay elevated, and it has. Just got off a coaching call with somebody looking at a bull put spread on VXX out to next Friday. Even though the president thinks, most likely on Monday, the president is going to say Mexico's acting pretty good. I'm going to hold fire for now. He's going to keep it out there, folks. He's going to say, I'm going to delay these 5% tariffs, but delayed is it, man. So, wow, what an incredible week. I mean, the biggest thing that happened for me this week was D-Day. Us remembering 75 years ago that 18 and 19 my son's at 19. My God, look at this. He was an 18-year-old kid. This guy, he was Matthew's age. Imagine Matthew being a waist gunner. So that was the biggest thing that happened to me this week. But look at all this other stuff, folks. Look at this headline. Big tech unfazed by antitrust threat. I told you that Amazon is going to whistle past the graveyard of this FTC stuff and rip higher. Folks, we went from a low this week of like below 1,700 to above 1,800. 3% rip your face off rally. I had some short calls on that got completely blown out of the water. That's why we're going to talk about Monday at 3 o'clock in our solo Amazon brief that I hate shorting Amazon. Why? Because stuff like that happens. Absolutely wrong idea out of me. And I was right. I said Amazon's going to whistle past this and it's not going to care about this. Man, I was right, but I was wrong with the short calls. I'm telling you that Google and Facebook will be more scathed. With an election year, with an election coming up, they're going to be more on the above the trenches than Amazon. Take a look at this. You ready for this? FedEx today announced it's ending its U.S. Express business with who? Amazon. June 30th, FedEx is done with these guys. FedEx said, hey, man, we're severing our relationship because you have your own air wing. I told you about this 4 years ago. As soon as I heard that Amazon was leasing 4 aircraft, I said it's over with. Chicken came home to roost. We were right on this one. It's getting rid of Amazon to focus on who? Walmart, Target, and Walgreens. Yeah, that's because Amazon is building their own. They're building a hub, folks, in Hebron, Kentucky, which is where? Right near UPS, the main UPS hub in Louisville, and the FedEx hub in Memphis. I flew out of Memphis on the panel on the 727. I know this business, folks. FedEx and UPS have sought to play down the competitive threat of Amazon in recent years. Yeah, okay, man. Amazon is going to eat your lunch. And look at Apple. What Apple? I was short Apple this week. Got blown out of a short Apple trade. Look at this. Look at that rip your face off rally, folks. Apple. Be very, very careful trading Apple, folks. Unless they tone down their rhetoric. This week we heard that the Chinese might ban the iPhone in China. They talked about, hey, we might stop shipping our rare minerals, which go in your iPhones. I mean, the rhetoric is toned down a little bit with Xi saying, hey, this guy's my friend. I don't think he wants to make this any more serious. But this was a day after the president said, hey, there's $300 billion still coming if necessary. So this is, sometimes the best thing to do when the market's not doing what you think it should do, sit on your hands. Cash is a position. Don't do anything. But I'm telling you, man, there ain't too many people getting ready to jump in and buy with both hands as we hit the 50-day moving average after everything that happened this week. The market is up on hope. Hope that the president doesn't slap Mexico with 5%. Hope that maybe someday, who is it? Mnuchin and, is it Liu? Vice Premier Liu? I think Mnuchin and Liu are maybe speaking this weekend ahead of Xi and Trump at the G20. There ain't no trade deal coming anytime soon with China. So hope on Mexico, hope on China, and hope that at the June Fed meeting, they cut interest rates. Any one of those things gets let down, folks, and markets go down faster, a hell of a lot than they go up, except for this week. But folks, remember this. Monday was a short squeeze. Look at that. Monday, Tuesday, it ended, and what happened? Thursday, the short squeeze should have ended, and this morning at 08:30 Eastern, that jobs report was miserable. Wages coming in. That was great news. So there you go, folks. There's your weekend homework. Now you know what a bizarro market is. Good news is good news, bad news is good news, and awful news is great news. Okay? Again, sorry we were a little late, but this absolutely was more important. These men, God bless them. I mean, 90, 94, 96, and even this guy's obviously getting on our greatest generations, and wanted to go shake their hands, especially with hopefully my son, Matthew, and also Jack, being a future military leader to defend this country. 18 and 19-year-old kids, man. I really wonder if we have enough 18 and 19-year-old kids in this country today who would defend it. A generation raised to disrespect its country, its customs, its flag, will never defend it. So, food for thought. All right, guys, have a great rest of your Friday. Have a great weekend. I'll see many of you Monday at 1 o'clock for the weekly options live trade brief. We take a break after that, and then we're going to do our solo Amazon brief at 3 o'clock. And man, aside from the two blowouts, we had a good weekly options iron condor on Brazil. That trade made $37.50 since Monday afternoon. So that takes a little bit of a sting out of the Apple. My bear call spread last week on Apple made about 49. This week it lost about 49. So net with my two Apple trades, down 30 bucks there. So, all right, guys, like I said, have a great rest of your weekend. Happy hunting. Make sure you hedge, and God bless. I'll see you Monday.